Good morning, students. In the previous lecture of the thermodynamics, we derived a new formula for the enthalpy. After that, we discussed about the extensive properties and intensive properties. From them, we discussed about the heat capacity. Total 3 different type of heat capacities were there. After that, we solve one sum, one numerical. In this lecture, we are going to discuss our next topic, which is enthalpy change, or you can say reaction enthalpy, which is symbolized by delta RH. Okay. So, in the chemical reaction, reactant are converted to product, and which is represented as a reactant converted to products. Okay. So, a quite simple mechanism. The enthalpy change accompanying a reaction is called the reaction enthalpy. That means change in enthalpy during the reaction is known as a reaction enthalpy. Symbol for reaction enthalpy is delta RH. Remember that symbol is delta RH. Okay, reaction enthalpy. Reaction enthalpy. Okay. Now, formula for the reaction enthalpy is sum of the enthalpies of product minus sum of the enthalpies of the reagent. Sum of the enthalpies of the product minus sum of the enthalpy of the reactant. Okay, quite simple, right? Look at the formula. Delta RH equal to sum of the enthalpy of the products minus sum of the enthalpy of the reagent. Okay, a quite simple formula, right? Now, this formula has one example with it. So, we are going to solve the example, which is a quite simple example if you ask me. They have given us example of burning of carbon monoxide. So, methane CH4, which is in a gaseous state, when burned in the presence of oxygen, we know that if one carbon is there, that's why carbon dioxide will be 1. Okay, and 4 hydrogens are there. So, half of the hydrogen will be converted into H2O. So, it will give us 2 H2O, which is in a liquid state. Now, let us balance this reaction. 2 plus 2, 4 oxygens, that is why 2 O2. Okay. In this reaction, CO2 and H2O is the product, whereas CH4 and O2 is the reagent, right? Now, as we know, the formula is delta RH is equal to sum of the enthalpy of the products. That is why delta HM, or you can simply write HM. So, HM of molar enthalpy of CO2, which is in a gaseous state, plus there are 2 moles of H2O. That is why 2 into enthalpy, molar enthalpy of H2O, okay, which is in a liquid state. These are the product enthalpy, the sum or addition of the product enthalpy minus addition of reagent enthalpy. So, we have reagent methane, which is in a gaseous state, okay, plus there are 2 moles of O2, that's why 2 into Hm, okay, O2 which is in a gaseous state. So, this will be the formula for the given reaction. Okay, look at this. It is also denoted by this formula where they used sigma sign, okay, but it is not very useful for us. We are simply going to use the word formula. Here symbol sigma is used for the summation, and Ai and Bi are the stoichiometric coefficients of a product and reagent respectively in the balanced chemical reaction. Now, they have given us one example of the reaction, okay, and as I told you, Hm of CO2 plus 2 Hm of H2O minus Hm of CH4 plus 2 Hm of O2. Addition of the product enthalpy minus addition of the reagent enthalpy, whereas Hm is the molar enthalpy. Molar enthalpy means enthalpy of a 1 mole compound. Okay. Now, enthalpy change is very useful for the quantity. Enthalpy change is very useful quantity. Knowledge of the quantity is required when one needs to plan the heating or a cooling required to maintain the industrial chemical reaction at a constant temperature. It is a quite simple thing. Okay. Enthalpy will be useful to maintain constant temperature. How? Some of the reactions are exothermic reactions, so they are going to release heat, and whereas some of the reactions are endothermic reactions, they are going to absorb heat. So, in which particular reaction how much energy is released and how much energy is absorbed will decide either we have to heat the temperature or we have to cool down the temperature to maintain the constant temperature. Okay. It is also required to calculate temperature dependence of the equilibrium constant. This topic is for 7th chapter. So, in detail we are going to discuss that in the next chapter. Okay. After that, standard enthalpy of the reactions. Okay. First of all, this is not a standard value because they have not mentioned temperature and the pressure over here. We have to mention temperature and pressure. Okay. Now, if we are calculating this thing as a standard procedure, so standard value will be delta R H naught, and this dot represents the standard value. This is standard enthalpy of the reaction. Enthalpy of the reaction depends on the condition whether this reaction is carried out. It is therefore necessary that we must specify some standard conditions, at which temperature we are talking about, at which pressure we are talking about. Okay. The standard enthalpy of the reaction is the enthalpy change for the reaction when all the participating substances are in their standard states. Standard states means, for example, water has a standard liquid state at 1 bar pressure and 25 degree Celsius. So, 25 degree Celsius is a standard temperature for us and 1 bar pressure is a standard pressure for us. Okay. Look at this. The standard state of a substance at a specified temperature is its pure form at 1 bar. For example, a standard state of a liquid ethanol is 298 Kelvin is pure ethanol liquid at 1 bar pressure, and standard state of iron, solid iron, is 500 Kelvin temperature at a 1 bar pressure. Usually we are going to take standard temperature 298 Kelvin. Remember the standard temperature 298 Kelvin, absolute temperature 273, standard temperature 298. Now, to represent the standard condition, we are going to draw a dot on a sign, delta H naught. Okay. Now, let us discuss various form of the enthalpy. Okay. Among them, first form will be the fusion enthalpy. We have three physical changes. solid converts to the liquid, liquid converts to the vapor phase or gaseous phase, and solid directly converts to the gaseous phase, right. When we convert solid compounds into the liquid compounds, that reaction is fusion reaction. After that, when liquid compounds are converted to gaseous compound, that reaction is vaporization reaction, and when solids are directly converted to gases, that reaction is sublimation reaction, right. So depending on these three reactions, we have three different types of the enthalpy. Okay. Phase transformation also involves energy changes. For example, ice requires heat for melting. That means when ice is converted into the water, that reaction is endothermic reaction. Normally this melting takes place at a constant pressure, and during the phase change temperature remains constant. So remember the values of the fusion enthalpy of ice, it is 6 kilojoule per mole. Okay. Here delta fuse H naught is enthalpy of fusion in standard state. If water freezes, then process is reversed and equal amount of heat is given off to the surroundings. So freezing reaction is mostly exothermic reaction, whereas fusion reaction is endothermic reaction. Okay. Now definition of the fusion reaction or fusion enthalpy: the enthalpy change that accompanies melting of a 1 mole of a solid substance in its standard state is called standard enthalpy of the fusion, or you can say molar enthalpy of the fusion. Symbol is delta fuse H naught. So this is our standard reaction enthalpy. Okay. Standard reaction enthalpy. I am just going to copy the word I have written already. Reaction enthalpy. Okay, standard reaction enthalpy. After that, we just discovered standard fusion enthalpy. So standard fusion enthalpy will be delta fuse H naught. Okay, this is standard fusion enthalpy. Okay, standard fusion enthalpy, right. After that, vaporization enthalpy. Melting of a solid is endothermic reaction. As I told you, it is an endothermic reaction. So all the enthalpies of fusion are positive. So we can add a note. It is endothermic reaction. Okay. It is endothermic reaction. That's why delta H will be positive. Then vaporization enthalpy. Water requires heat for evaporation at a constant temperature of its boiling point Tb at a constant pressure, right. So value of the vaporization enthalpy for the water is 40.79 at 100 degree Celsius. So amount of heat required to vaporize 1 mole of a liquid substance at a constant temperature and standard pressure is called standard enthalpy of the vaporization, or you can say molar enthalpy of the vaporization. Symbol will be delta vap H naught. Okay. So our next enthalpy is delta vap H naught. Okay. For that, enthalpy standard, and we are talking about vaporization enthalpy. Okay. standard vaporization enthalpy. Again enthalpy will be positive, that's why it is also endothermic reaction. Okay, that's why delta H will be positive for this reaction also. Okay, our last enthalpy for today is sublimation enthalpy. Sublimation is direct conversion of solid into the vapor. For example, solid carbon dioxide, which is also known as a dry ice, sublimates at 195 Kelvin, enthalpy will be 25.2 kilojoule per mole, whereas naphthalene has a sublimation enthalpy of 73 kilojoule per mole. Remember the values for 1 marker questions. Okay, that's why a standard sublimation enthalpy is a change in enthalpy when 1 mole of a solid substance sublimates at a constant temperature and under standard pressure. Okay, so now delta sublimation enthalpy, so delta sub H naught is the symbol of the sublimation enthalpy. Okay, it is a standard value, that's why we have denoted it by dot on over the head. Standard sublimation enthalpy. Okay, it is also positive, that's why sublimation enthalpy is also endothermic reaction. Okay, clear? Look at this. The magnitude of the enthalpy change depend on the strength of intermolecular interaction in the substance undergoing the phase transformation. For example, water, when it is in a liquid state, there is a specific hydrogen bonds in them, whereas acetone do not have that type of hydrogen bonds, so they are weakly bonded. So water will require more energy to convert into vapor phase, whereas acetone requires less energy. For example, the strong hydrogen bond between water molecules hold them tightly in the liquid phase. For an organic liquid such as acetone, the intermolecular dipole-dipole interaction are significantly weaker than hydrogen bond. Thus, it requires less energy or less heat to vaporize 1 mole of acetone compared to 1 mole of water. Table number 6.1, look at this. They have given us certain values of the fusion and the vaporization. For the nitrogen, fusion enthalpy is 0.72 kilojoule per mole. Their freezing point and boiling point is also has been mentioned over here. You can compare the water value. Water has vaporization enthalpy of 40.79, whereas acetone have just 29.1. Okay. After that, they have given us problem and we are going to solve it. Okay, so let's start that the solution. Problem number 6.9, which is not related to the enthalpies. Okay, 6.7. Okay, look at the question. A swimmer coming out of the pool is covered with a film of water weighing about 18 gram. So they have given us mass of water. So mass of water is equal to 18 gram. Okay, gram should be separated. Okay, mass of water. Now find out mole of water, because mass will be not useful for us. So mole of water will be equal to given weight W upon molecular weight of water. That will be the formula for mole, right? So, given weight is 18 gram and molecular weight of water is also 18 gram. So, there will be 1 mole of water film on the body of the swimmer. That is why we can say that mole of water in our condition is 1 mole, okay, from the given weight. Now, let us move. How much heat must be supplied to evaporate this water? So, water is in a liquid state and I want to evaporate it. So, I want to convert water into vapor at 298 Kelvin. So, they want to calculate the amount of enthalpy required to heat down 18 gram of water from the body of the swimmer and vaporize it. Okay. So, we will need vaporization enthalpy for 1 mole of water to calculate 18 gram amount. Okay. Also, they told us to calculate internal energy. Now, delta vaporization H naught for water at 298 Kelvin is 44.01 kilojoule per mole. So, they have given us delta vap H naught for 298 Kelvin temperature, which is equal to 44.01 kilojoule mole inverse. Okay. Now, I want to calculate the amount of heat required. That is why for amount of heat, that means for delta H, okay, which is also equal to QP, because pressure will be constant, will be equal to number of moles of water on the body of swimmer into the vaporization enthalpy delta vap H. Okay. In this case, they have given us only 18 grams. Suppose there is 36 grams, so N will be 2 mole. Okay. Remember that. Therefore, delta H or QP heat required will be equal to 1 mole of water is on the body of a swimmer, that is why, into amount of vaporization enthalpy 44.01 kilojoule mole inverse. Okay. So, answer will be simply 44.1 kilojoule per mole. Okay. 44.01 kilojoule mole inverse. Now, they told us to calculate change in internal energy also. So, we have the formula of delta H and delta U, right? That formula is, so our next answer for this question, delta H is equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT, right? We have this formula, but for that we have to calculate delta Ng, and for that we will require a equation. So, chemical equation will be H2O, which is liquid, is converted into H2O, which is in a gaseous form. Here we can assume that water is a ideal gas, water vapor is ideal gas. Now, delta Ng for the reaction, gaseous difference in a mole of a gaseous compound. So, H2O in a gas is a product. So, 1 mole of product minus reagent in a gaseous. So, there is no gaseous reagent, only liquid. that's why it will be 0. So delta Ng will be equal to 1 and value of R is 8.314, temperature is given 298, that's why delta U equal to delta H minus delta Ng RT. What I have done, I have simply redirected the term that I want to discover. I want to discover delta U, that's why I have modified the equation. Delta Ng RT comes over this side, so delta U equal to delta H minus delta Ng RT. Now put down the values for the answer. So delta U will be equal to value of delta H 44.01 kilojoule. So kilojoule will be converted into joule. So 44010 multiplied by 1000. Now this value is in the joule. Okay. At the last we are going to convert it into kilojoule again. Now delta Ng equal to 1. Value of R is 8.314 into value of the temperature. They have given us temperature 298 Kelvin. Okay. Now calculate this. So delta U will be equal to 44,010 joule minus the multiplication of this will be equal to 8.314 into 298. It is equal to 2477.572. Okay, if we subtract that from 44,010, we will get our answer, and which is equal to 41,532.428 joule per mole. Convert it into kilojoule. So we will get the answer delta U equal to 41 point divided by 1000, 41.532 kilojoule mole inverse. So that will be your final answer of the question. Look at this over here. We can represent the process evaporation like this, as I told you. Okay, number of moles in 18 gram of H2O, 1 mole as we converted it. So heat supplied will be N into the vaporization enthalpy will be equal to 44.01 because 1 mole is there only. Assuming steam behaving as an ideal gas, delta Vap U is equal to delta H naught minus P delta V, and P delta V is equal to delta Ng RT. Put down the values. So delta U will be equal to 41.53 kilojoule per mole. Okay, so that was all for this lecture. In the next lecture we are going to solve our problem number 6.8. okay, thank you so much.